Hear from the member for Reid.
My question is to the Treasurer. Why is a methodical, consistent, responsible approach to managing the economy and budget so important, and what are the consequences of not doing so?
The member for Barker is now warned. Give the call to the Treasurer.
Thanks very much, Mr Speaker. Thank you to the wonderful member for Reid for her question. Over the past 12 months, the Albanese Labor government has begun the hard yards of repairing the budget and building a stronger and fairer and more secure economy. And our responsible economic management is leading to smaller deficits, less debt, less interest costs and a forecast surplus for this year. At the same time, we're delivering cost-of-living relief for Australians doing it tough, and today's DMO confirms we've helped shield people from the worst of the energy price spikes. Now, in an uncertain global environment, our methodical and consistent approach is building buffers against global uncertainty and making our economy more resilient to external shocks. Now, you contrast that, Mr Speaker, with what we've heard from the Leader of the Opposition since his budget reply a couple of weeks ago. It's been 2 weeks since the budget reply, and the reason why we don't get any questions about the budget from those opposite is because their budget reply is already falling down around them in a shambolic mess. And let me give you a few examples of that, Mr Speaker. Now, the big idea that the Leader of the Opposition had was to bring back work for the dole. And then the only problem with that was work for the dole hadn't been abolished. And it was in the budget. There's thousands of people participating in work for the dole, but he wants to bring it back. It's already happening, but he wants to bring it back. 2 weeks ago, he came up with this big idea about JobSeeker. He wanted to change the way JobSeeker did. 2 weeks later, they still can't tell us how much it costs. And whenever they're asked, they'll say, we'll tell you later on, but we want you to support it now. Mr Speaker, they have questions from up the back about how they want more people coming to Australia, and then up the front about how they want fewer people coming to Australia, and that's because they've been busted trying to play two different tunes with the same dog whistle, Mr Speaker. It hasn't dawned on them, Mr Speaker. It still hasn't dawned on them, Mr Speaker, that they're using a measure of inflation that strips out energy and food costs, which they're arguing is the main driver of inflation. Mr Speaker, it hasn't dawned on them that when they argue about the net policy impact, the $20 billion net policy impact from our budget, that is half of the net policy impact of the last budget that they had, yet they pretend ours is inflationary and theirs is not inflationary, Mr Speaker. They say they want smaller deficits, but they want to spend more money on defence and they want to give bigger tax breaks for people who've already got tens of millions of dollars in super, Mr Speaker. They said on budget night that they supported all along our energy plan, right? The same energy plan. The only problem with that, it's the same energy plan they came in here and voted against, Mr Speaker. This is the usual coalition bin fire of haplessness and hopelessness and heartlessness. They've gone from born to rule to born to rot, Mr Speaker, and you see that in the $1 trillion of debt that they left us with almost nothing to show for it.